In this video, I'll show you how to complete the initial day zero configuration of your Oracle Private Cloud Appliance. You first need to connect a laptop or workstation with a web browser directly to the management network using an Ethernet cable connected to port 2 on the management switch. Configure the wired network connection of the laptop to use the static IP address 100.96.3.254. Here I'm showing the network settings on my laptop. Using the web browser on the workstation, connect to the Oracle Private Cloud Appliance first boot interface on the active management node at https://100.96.2.32:30099. Here I'm showing the first boot wizard on the address and port number I mentioned. I'll create the administrative account by providing a username and password and confirm the password. I'll click Create Account and log in. The admin user was created successfully. I'll click Continue to log in. Now I'm prompted to sign into the system with the credentials I just created. Next, I'm prompted to provide a system name and domain. The availability domain is automatically provided. As the note says, once system name and domain are set, they cannot be changed. Please enter and check these details carefully. I'll scroll down and I can optionally provide a rack name and a description. I'll click Save Changes. And now we're asked to wait while the Private Cloud Appliance initializes. Initialization may take 15 minutes or longer, but for this demonstration, I'll speed through this. I'm now prompted to sign in again using the administration credentials I created earlier in this demo. After signing in, I'm prompted to configure network parameters. Beginning with routing type, I can select either static or dynamic. I'll show the dynamic routing parameters. When dynamic routing is selected, BGP, or Border Gateway Protocol, is used to establish a connection between two autonomous systems, the appliance network and the data center network. This configuration requires a registered autonomous system name, ASN, on each side of the connection. For this demonstration, I'm going to select static routing. Static routing routes all external traffic through a gateway. This default gateway must have an IP address in the same subnet as the external interfaces of the spine switches. Using a VLAN is supported as long as its ID is within the permitted range of 2 through 3899. All gateways configured within a virtual cloud network will automatically have a route rule to direct all traffic intended for external destination to the IP address of the default gateway. If you don't use VLAN or HSRP, you can just leave the defaults. I'll click Next to provide the network parameters for the management nodes. Note that the management node VIP host name is different from the system name. Here I'm setting the network interface name. And unlike the system name and the domain name, this network information can be changed later. I'll speed through this and click Next. Here I'm prompted to provide uplink information for my data center. In this demonstration, the uplink port speed is 40 gig, but could be up to 100. And the uplink port count is 1, but customer data center could have more. Here I'll set the net mask for the management network only. I'll scroll down and click Next. On this screen, I'll provide my NTP servers. I'll click Next. On this screen, I can enable and configure admin networking. In an environment with elevated security requirements, you can optionally segregate administrative appliance access from the data traffic. Disable is the default, but I'll select Enable and show the parameters needed. Setting up the administration network requires additional Ethernet connections from the data center top of rack switches to port 5 on each of the spine switches in the appliance. Inside the administration network, the spine switches must each have one IP address and a virtual IP shared between the two. A default gateway is also required to route traffic. A separate administration network can be used with both static and dynamic routing. The use of a VLAN is supported, but when combined with static routing, the VLAN ID must be different from the one configured for the data network. I'll change this back to Disable for this demonstration and click Next. On this screen, I'll provide my DNS servers. I'll click Next. Here I'll enter the IP addresses for my data center that the appliance can access. Provide a comma separated list of CIDRs. These are the customer data center public IPs that the appliance uses for OCI components that require public IPs, for example, OCI gateways and compute instances. Note that they are not public, but instead represent IP addresses that have access in on-premise networks. And I can also provide object storage public IP. I'll click Save Changes, wait for the server to process our request. I'll speed through this. A message appears saying the private cloud appliance is in a mode where networking configuration may be tested before it is committed. Once committed, then certain parameters may not be changed, including routing type and public IPs. I'll click Commit Changes. Wait a bit while the appliance initializes. I'll speed through this. The configuration process is complete. I'll click Sign Out. Now I'll sign in using the admin credentials. The first time you sign in after completing Day 0 configuration, this screen appears, providing the opportunity to configure the Phone Home service to use Auto Service Request. Day 0 configuration is complete, but I'm just going to select Network Environment from the hamburger menu and show the network information. Here you can click each of the tabs to view the different networking parameters we entered during Day 0 configuration. This concludes this demonstration. Thank you for watching. Please check our additional information on Oracle Private Cloud Appliance in the Oracle Private Cloud Appliance documentation or in the Oracle Private Cloud Appliance Learning Library.